Did I fix it? Okay, you should be able to hear me now, guys, right? Right? I'm back. Here I am. Okay, so what I was trying to tell you guys is that I need to go get something to put under the laptop because otherwise you're going to hear this like ringing the whole time. So hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. Ooh, I'm back. Oh. Hello, hello. Okay, there we go. I'm refocused. Now I'm going to very carefully, guys, very carefully move this. Did I do it? I did it. Hi everyone. Happy Monday. Cheers. Cheers. Hello. Yeah, oh, we're having a Melisha moment. Yes, let's recognize Melisha looking so adorable in her Loretta shorts with the Stanwyck bib with her red gingham Rita top. She took those photos herself. If you don't follow Melisha on Instagram, shame on you. Go to the naughty corner. It's a Melisha moment. It's a Melisha moment. Go follow Melisha at Melisha Simone Collection on Instagram, and you'll see what we're talking about. She took those photos herself. She made the cutest outfit ever. She did her bumper bangs and her little high pony. And we're living for it. We're living for Melisha. Yeah, we're having a Melisha moment. So go check it out. I'm going to put it on my page tomorrow, but I don't want to take away from her moment today. So you'll see it on my Instagram tomorrow, but you really should be following her anyway. So if you're not, run, don't walk. How are we doing? Happy Monday. Happy Ides of June. It's mid-June, everyone. Where's the month going? Speaking of a moment, Melisha and I are kind of having like a panic where we're like, what is happening to June? Why are the months going so fast? It's almost time for Patreon again. So we had a good discussion today about the next couple months of Patreon and how we're going to make it all work. And you guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. So what else do we have to talk about? So the topic today, I've been getting a lot of questions about stretch woven fabrics, and specifically the polka dot fabric that I made my Loretta romper in. So I thought we could talk about that just as a little quick topic. One of the questions I got on my Instagram post today, because I posted my Loretta romper today, this little polka dot number. So I had a lot of questions because this one was made in a stretch sateen. And the ones I'm wearing now are made in like a non-stretch canvas. And my other ones are the denim I made in a non-stretch denim. So I feel like this has caused, not a lot of confusion, but just some questions about if I make it in a stretch woven, do I change the fit or do I go down a size? Do I want negative ease? That was a question today. Like, would I want to go down so that I have negative ease in my shorts if I use a stretch woven? So I thought I thought we could have a discussion about what is a stretch woven, what is negative ease, and so on. Does that sound good? So a stretch woven typically refers to a fabric that is a woven, like denim. Let's say denim is a woven, right? But a stretch woven would have a small percentage of lycra woven into the denim, right? Is an example. So, or like sateen, right? So most sateen doesn't have stretch, or like your standard cotton sateen doesn't have stretch. But then you have stretch sateen, which has like 2% lycra, okay? So that's the difference. They're both woven fabrics. One is just going to have a little bit of elastane type threads woven into the fabric to give it a little bit of stretch. So stretch wovens are super popular now. I mean, does anyone wear jeans without stretch in them? Unless you like vintage jeans, like almost all jeans now are stretch woven. You know, stretch sateen is really common to sew with. So these are really, really common fabrics. And you can substitute a stretch woven fabric for its non-stretch sibling, let's say, with no problems, right? So if you're going to be sewing your stretch, let's say you're going to be sewing your Loretta shorts, you've sewed them in denim before with no stretch, now you've found a fabric that you like that's a stretch denim, you can just swap those out, no problem, okay? It's not like knits and wovens, okay? You know, when people are always saying like, can I make the Loretta shorts in a knit? And I say, no, go to the naughty corner. That's different, okay? Because knits are a totally different type of fabric. Like if you think about how you make a knit stitch, I'm going to talk about knitting later, by the way, how you make a knit stitch, it's a totally different type of stitch, the way the fibers are woven together. So in a knit fabric, they're actually knitted like little loops of knit fabric, like tiny little knitting needles had made it, right? But a woven fabric is like a basket weave where you have threads going this way and threads going that way, and they interweave in some pattern, right? So they're two totally different types of fabric. They're not related. They're not siblings, okay? So let's see how far I can go with this metaphor. They're not siblings like wovens and stretch wovens are. Okay, so whereas you couldn't easily swap out a knit when the pattern calls for a woven, you could easily swap out a stretch woven. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, so you can use your stretch wovens. Don't use your knits. Let me get my rolling pin. So the next question is, do you need to adjust the fit if you're using a stretch woven? Now, I would say that this varies. Good students. I would say that this varies. If I were going to make like a sheath dress, like a really slim sheath dress that I would normally make in a non-stretch woven, but I wanted to use a stretch sateen for my next version of it, then I would say yes, you would probably end up taking it in a little bit on the side seams. I wouldn't size down necessarily, because then you mess around with the proportions, like the length and all of that, the torso length, bust start positions, all of that. I would say you might just want to like take it in. And my strategy with that is to always do a basted fitting on the side seams when I'm sewing something like that. And then I see if I want to take it in and how much I want to take it in. And it's just going to fit a little bit closer because of the stretch, right? So with the Loretta shorts, now the woman who asked on my post today, I thought it was a great question. She said she was going to make the Loretta shorts with the Stanwick bib in a stretch sateen, I think a stretch sateen or a stretch denim or something like that. So a stretch woven. And she wanted to know if she would want to size down so that her garment would have negative ease. And that's a whole other thing. You don't want actually, okay, hold on. Let's first talk about this idea of taking the side seams in. For the Loretta short, I wouldn't really do that, okay? Because this is a really easy fitting garment, right? And you're not looking to get like a really tight fit at the hips or anything like that. So I would say that having a stretch woven fabric isn't really going to affect the way you want the shorts to fit. And on that note, I didn't change the fit of these at all, okay? So exactly the same from woven to stretch woven. The other thing to take into consideration is the waistband, right? So when you have a waistband, after you put your interfacing on it, it's going to, unless you use a specialty stretch interfacing, it's not going to stretch, right? So you don't want to take the side seams in or take it in so small that it's going to be uncomfortable on the waistband, because that's not going to stretch with your fabric. Good. Does this all make sense? So what I told her was that I thought she could just, using a stretch woven for the Loretta shorts with the Stanwick bib, you could just make them exactly the same as you would if you were using a non-stretch woven. Okay, makes sense? But then she had also, the other component of her question was positive versus negative ease. And I thought that was really interesting too, because that kind of harkens back to the Jane set, which is the only garment that we've ever done for charm patterns that I've ever done, I guess, that has negative ease. Okay, and I feel like this term negative ease is more common in the knitting world. So positive ease means that the garment is bigger than your body, which is almost always what we're dealing with in sewing for the most part. Zero ease would be the garment is the same measurements as your body, so there's no wiggle room whatsoever in that garment, and that could apply to things like a L'Amour bodice. You could make that with zero ease, honestly, and then wear a cincher and really squish yourself in there, and it's going to look super form-fitting and great. So you could do that. And then the third category would be negative ease, where the garment is smaller than your body. And that means that it almost always means that the garment needs to stretch in some way to then fit your body, right? So that applies to knits most often. So something like a really stretchy knit is going to be like a spandex, like a leotard. Think about a leotard or something like that. It's going to be small, a lot smaller than your body. It's going to be negative ease, and then it's going to stretch to be like a second skin. Okay, so that's negative ease. The other instance of negative ease would be like a corset or something like that would have negative ease in the waist, right? Because you're going to cinch it so that your body measurements become smaller, but that's a totally different category. Okay, so I did want to talk about negative ease because we have done a garment with negative ease in stretch woven fabric. So I can see the confusion here, which would be the Jane set, which is this super skin tight, what do you call it? Jumpsuit. So this was based on, the Jane set was based on a vintage garment. Guys, do you know if it's pronounced Cheeb of Miami or Seeb of Miami? You got to help me because I've never actually heard anyone say it. And actually, that's not true. I've heard people say it each different way, each Cheeb and Seeb. So I don't want to look like a rube here, especially since I designed a whole pattern. I designed a whole pattern around this designer. So does anyone know? All right. So anyway, this Miami designer, do you like how I got around that? This Miami designer, oh, preen break. I actually got to borrow one of these jumpsuits, one of these original 50s jumpsuits, and look at it. And it was made out of a fabric called lastex, which is a really early precursor to spandex. So it was a woven fabric. It was used in vintage swimwear, which is now all really expensive, like your Jansons, your Catalinas, your Rosemary Reeds were made with lastex. So if you look at those old ads, you'll see that sort of touted, now made with lastex. And it feels a lot like a woven swimsuit fabric with a lot of stretch in it, is the only way I can really describe it. So, oh my gosh, we've gone down a road. Okay. So when I had the chance to like try on and examine this vintage garment, it really had a lot more stretch than I would have anticipated, because I think when we think of 50s garments and early 60s garments, we only think of non-stretch wovens, right? Or maybe like knits, like hand knits, and maybe like wool jerseys and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see a vintage garment like that that had so much stretch to it and a stretch woven. And like, what a cool fabric. They don't make it anymore, which I wish they did, because it's like this sort of ribbed, almost like a ribbed file with a ton of stretch to it. So the closest thing to it is something like Bengaline, like you can get at Joann's. Yeah, we haven't talked Drag Race yet. Don't worry. I've gone in a deep dive, Colin, into stretch wovens. It's a deep dive. Okay, so that's why when I designed the Jane set, I wanted to find fabrics that would replicate that super stretchy woven. So that's also why this garment has negative ease, because I used fabric that had a lot of stretch to it. Okay, so a stretch woven, and I can't remember, of course, Milicia, do you remember how much stretch we recommend the Jane set fabrics have? But I think it's 50% at least. So whereas something like the Hepburns Hop, which I'm wearing now, we recommend under 25% stretch. So something like this fabric that I used for the Jane set just has a lot more stretch to it, which means it can be smaller than your body. It can have negative ease and then sort of expand to fit your body in a sort of second skin kind of way, but very comfortable because there's a lot of stretch in it. The best kind of deep dive is into fabric. So, okay, bring it back. I say at least 25. Okay. I'm bringing it back, guys. I'm reining it in. You just looked at it. Okay, at least 25. So that's the difference between something like Hepburn and Jane. Okay, great. So Jane is like at least 25% and Hepburn is under 25%. Take a moment. So that's why something like Loretta, you wouldn't want to wear with negative ease. It's not designed to have negative ease, and it wasn't designed to be used with a fabric that has that much stretch. You could easily just swap out something with 2% Lycra, because if you look at like this romper, it does have some stretch, but it's not a lot. It's like it just goes ding, ding, ding. It's not a ton, right? It's just like for comfort extra comfort in a woven. And the other thing to think about is that on this bodice, I stabilized it. I feel like I've talked about this so many times. I'm sorry, guys, if you're bored of me talking about this. But I did stabilize this by using a very rigid underlining, a Kona cotton, which then negates the stretch in the bodice. Okay, so it's going to fit like you want the Lemoire to fit. Jane, on the other hand, you want the stretch in the bodice. So, did that help, everyone? Did that help? I have 2 Coke Zeros here. This one's empty. Did that help, guys? Yeah, that was a deep dive. We went way in. So, I mean, just to kind of talk a little bit more about like the Hepburns Hop, that was like one of my webinars. The Hepburns Hop is, I mean, you can kind of trace all of these fabric decisions back to the vintage garments that these designs were based on. Like the Hepburns Hop is designed on, inspired by like jersey tops of the 50s, which jersey in the 50s, like a wool jersey, was fairly stable. So it's not like a Lycra t-shirt jersey. It just had a little bit of give. So that's why something like the Hepburns Hop was designed to be used with a stable knit with less than 25% stretch. And it also has positive ease. Like I think the Hepburns Hop has 0 to 3 inches of ease in the bust, depending on your cup size. So it was a great deep dive. Oh, that's interesting, Colin. 2% spandex and a stretch woven helps reduce wrinkling. Laura, what fabric did you get for your Jane? I'm curious. All right. Well, I'm glad that was helpful. Okay. So that's my webinar for the day. Let me preen. I went back to the side part today, guys. It's black with pink lurex woven throughout. Ooh, I love it. Does it have any stretch in it? Okay, good. Good. It's just barely 25%. You might be able to work it up, make it work if you size up, or add a little, instead of sizing up, maybe just add a little bit to the side seams. Potentially workable. Oh, Colin made a Bengaline Stanwyck pencil skirt lined with stretch cotton sateen to great success last weekend. Awesome. And Colin, that's a really good point too, is that if you use a stretch woven for your outer garment and you're going to line the garment, you need to use, and you want to retain the stretch of the outer garment, you need to use a stretch lining. Okay. So, because if you don't, you're just going to negate the stretch in your outer garment. So if you don't want the stretch, then that's fine. You can use a non-stretch lining. But if you need the stretch and you're fitting it tightly, then you want to, keep in mind that you're going to need a stretch lining. Laura says, like, cut it with 3/4 inch seam allowances. Yeah, I think that would be fine. And then do a basted fitting when you put the side seams together, and maybe like the inseam too. And then that would give you a little bit of wiggle room. And also look at the finished measurements. It's been a while. It's been a while on that one since I made any Janes or looked at it. So, yeah. All right. All right. I've got this little curl that's really bothering me. All right. So that was today's formal topic. Hmm. Can we talk about my style evolution? Sure. What do you want to talk about it? What should we talk about? Should we talk about my new brooch? Guys, look at these little Bakelite balls. Are we loving this with my little gold hoops? Yeah, I mean, you guys know I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I started my first blog in 2008. So that's been 12 years now since I've sort of been in somewhat of a public eye sharing pictures of myself. So yeah, if you can imagine seeing pictures of yourself from 12 years ago online, it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. And yeah, I was like a lot more less polished, I guess, and less which was fine. I wasn't that interested in being polished at the time. And yeah, I think I had a little more of like an edge. I mean, I was in my late 20s then and my early 40s now. So those are two like totally different no thanks. Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't really visit my old blog. I know a lot of people do, but for me it's like, yeah, it's like your younger self, you know, like it was a different time. So I don't like revisit my old blog because I'm very much more into like what I'm doing now. And I'm sure like 12 years from now, I will look back at this era and like, you know, have evolved in some way, which, you know, we all should, given a 12-year span in our lives. So my little bangs and glasses. Yeah, I was just trying. Oh, thanks, Cindy. You're so sweet. A baby Gertie video. Yeah, so I have like YouTube videos from, you know, what, 10 years ago and all that online. And yeah, I'm just lucky that it's nothing too embarrassing. It's all just like me dorking out about sewing. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that way. But yeah, people will ask me about things that I wrote on my blog like 10 years ago. And to be honest, a lot of it I don't really even remember writing. You guys know I have a terrible memory as it is. And then add to the fact that I've like, I wouldn't say I've moved on in my professional life, but I'm not like writing a blog like I was then and like sharing a lot of personal details. Like I would say this is my form of a blog now. Oh, thanks, guys. I've upgraded. Well, we were talking about like aging and stuff the other day, and like, you know, as I shared, like I'm really feeling my 40s. I'm very into it. I wasn't be glad I wasn't in the scene in the early 2000s. Yeah, there was no like MySpace page or anything like that. So yeah, I'm lucky in that way. Yes, I do have a pattern for this blouse, and it is the Hepburns Hop from Charm Patterns. Love your 40s. Yeah, I know. I was like I was scared to turn 40, and now I'm really digging it. Women age like wine. We just keep getting better. I mean, I think there's something to that. All right. So that was a little detour. What else were we going to talk about? I wanted to share, oh, my knitting project, guys. I finished my rainbow sweater. I'm so excited. I blocked it and everything, and it's already dry. Do we love it? I love it. Just in time for Pride Month. Made Pride Month with plenty of time left. How gorgeous is this? Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's too much. I know, it is too much. I love it. Melicia's jealous. Melicia, make one. I have plenty of yarn left in every one of these colors, so you can make one too. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. It is a little bit short. I added 4 rows of ribbing, and I wish I'd added just a little bit more to the bottom, but it's not a big deal. It goes great with the Stanwyck shorts in denim. And I thought about wearing it today, but I haven't taken pictures yet, so I want to leave it nice and fresh. Has Amy seen it yet? I don't think so. I put it in my stories and tagged her, but she's not addicted to social media like the rest of us, so she might not have seen it. So yeah, pink Jane capris would be a perfect match. That would be really cute, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about it. It came out really great. I love these little armholes. Oh, I added a little bit more ribbing, like 2 more rows, because I thought 4 rows was a little meager. So I did 6 around the armholes. And yeah, this was like super easy to make. It took me 3 weeks from start to finish. So that's not bad. And then I did some swatching for Rizzo. I did the exact same thing that I did last time and the time before pretty much, which was I used the recommended needle size, found it was too small, went up and found it was perfect. So I don't know why I didn't just start with the size 4 needles, but very excited about this yarn. This is Beehive Yarns Dusty. And this is actually my first time since getting back into knitting that I've used a wool. I've really just been using this Kabasi, which is like a cotton silk bamboo blend. And I forgot like how nice wool is and like how beautiful my stitches look. And I've been very taken by this. So Jenny, you cast on your Rizzo last night. I'm gonna do mine tonight. Oh my gosh, knitting buddies. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm going to cast this on tonight. I also decided I'm going to size down to a small. Technically, my measurements have me at a medium. But I think I wanted to this one to be a little more form-fitting. So speaking of negative and positive ease, I'm going to go into negative ease on my Rizzo, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing with your knitting? My patterns are available for plus size gals. We go up to a US 20, which is that's a 53-inch bust, and it's equivalent to like a 24 in like a Lane Bryant or Target if you shop in stores. And we also have separate cup sizes for up to an H cup, which also helps with plus size fitting. Laura says, I really want a small medium. I'm between sizes. Me too. That would be perfect. Can always, oh yeah, Kate, you were telling me that. I can always block it bigger if I need to. Yes, Kate, this was our discussion that made me decide I'm going to go down to a small. So we'll see. I feel good about it. Okay. So let's see. We talked about knitting. I want to show you guys some samples that I got for the camper. So if you haven't heard this discussion, I recently acquired a vintage camper trailer kind of thing. It's a 1963 Shasta, and it's in beautiful condition, but I'm doing some cosmetic renovations on it. And one of the things I really want to do is it's like a blue and white color scheme on the exterior now, and then the interior is like blue and aqua with brown appliances. So I'm going to be basically changing up the color scheme. But the really special thing about this camper is that it's all original, except for like the side panels. I mean, this is all boring stuff, but like the side panels have been replaced and it's been restored. But the layout is original, the dinette, the side bed, the appliances, everything about it is very 1963. A lot of people like buy these campers and then they like gut them or like turn them into pop-up boutiques or whatever. So the special thing about this one is that it's very, it's, what's the right word? It was really lovingly restored so that it would be as true to its original self as possible. So with that said, I want to keep all of that original loving restoration, but make it a little more Gertie and a little more charm. Yeah, so I will be looking into having the appliances re-enameled, which is what I really want to do, so that they're pink. And I also want to stick with the original vibe, so the original materials, but change the color. Does that make sense? So like the countertop and the dinette tabletop is currently in an aqua laminate with gold flecks in it, which actually is really amazing, but it doesn't go. So I actually found a company that makes sparkle laminates, and guys, they make pink. So you're not going to be able to see the sparkles in this, but I am so excited. I got these samples. It's like the perfect, look how it matches my wall. Do you see this? So it's a laminate countertop called Sparkle Lamb, guys, by a company called Make It Mid-Century. And you can get it with silver sparkles, gold sparkles, or gold and silver sparkles mixed. So I got really excited. It's like, it's perfect. Like this stuff is so true to the era. The color is perfect. I'm so excited. So I went and I ordered, I like the gold sparkles best. So I just ordered today a huge sheet of this. It comes in 6 by 10 foot sheets. So I ordered a sheet of this, which that's like twice as much as I need, but I figure like it would be fun to like put this on like my nightstands or something. I don't know. I feel like there's stuff I can do with this. So, and then I got a really fun email from the woman who owns this company, and she was like, I can't believe Gertie just placed an order with me. I can't believe it's you. I have all your books. And she said that she used one of my books to make a dress with like mid-century houses on it. And she wears it when she does house tours, and she always gets a lot of compliments. And so that was really cute. And I have to write back to her, but I was just like tickled by that. So that's fun. So yeah. So that's the latest. And then I also, I got another sample of something which I'm not happy about. I mean, I just don't, it's not right. This is by Wilson Art. This is retro renovation. This is laminate with little boomerangs on it. I don't know if you can see those here, but they make a nice product too, but it's not a sparkle laminate. So, this has little boomerangs, and it's kind of like a peachy pink with gray boomerangs in the background. So nix this right away. Definitely going with the sparkle lamb. Very excited about that. And I also got a sample of a huge buffalo check. How fun is this? I was thinking about doing the upholstery in this, the cushions, but, which I love, But I will say that the original upholstery is in tweed, like a blue aqua green tweed. And I kind of feel like it might be a good choice to get a pink tweed for the upholstery so that it really feels very original. And then maybe I could do like a pink gingham curtain or something like that. So that's the latest. That's the latest. I also recently got a, do you guys know this company, Big Chill? They make kitchen appliances. This, do you see this pink? It matches my wall. They make appliances in this color. So one day I added everything I wanted to my cart from the Big Chill website. And then I saw that my total was $10,000. I was like, I'll just do it for fun and I'll just see how much it would be if I wanted to replace all my appliances with these pink appliances. And then I closed that tab. So, but I have the sample. So, yeah. Need the sparkle, accent pillows. Oh yeah, it could be accent pillows. That would be cute. So I will tell you guys that for some photos that you're going to see very soon, my photo editor actually photoshopped in a pink stove into my kitchen. So I know you guys are going to say like, oh my God, did you spend the $10,000 and get pink appliances? And the answer is no. The answer is no. I just had my photo editor add it to my kitchen. You did that with online fabric shopping? Yeah, this was probably the most I've ever like put into my cart in one window shopping experience. Yeah, maybe someday. I'm not ruling it out. Would I be able to use a gingham fabric to make the Loretta shorts? That's actually what I'm wearing here. The Loretta in gingham, though I used a heavier weight gingham in canvas. So if you want more information about fabrics that would work with the Loretta short pattern, I would definitely recommend checking out the live stream I did a few live streams ago. Is that helpful? I did a whole live stream on fabrics that you can use for the Loretta short. You like my photoshopped yellow front door on the Loretta pattern? Yeah, so do you guys want to talk about how much of my photos have been photoshopped lately? So I'm not photoshopped except for like, you know, little smoothing here and there, little evening out, little light correction, but everything around me is photoshopped. So like if you saw the picture where I was wearing the Loretta shorts with the Stanwick bib and my front door is yellow, that is really just because we've done so many photos in front of my house in quarantine that we needed to like mix it up a little bit. And you know, my front door is purple. So Sophie just had some fun, had some fun changing the color of my door. But it's really funny because every time I send, is my mom here? Every time I send these pictures to my mom, she says, did you repaint your door? And she said, did you paint your stove? So I have to hand it to Sophie that she's doing a really good job and it looks like it's actually done in my house. So the other thing that she did, the photo that I posted on Instagram today, that is not at all my backyard. She took out everything behind me. The lounger is mine. I got it at Newburgh Vintage Emporium, which you guys know I love. The lounger's mine, and then everything else in that photo is someone else's backyard. Yeah, she's very talented. She's very talented. I love her work. So yeah, the cheaper way to do it. Whatever happened with my kitchen floor? So as you guys know, so you'll see my kitchen in the next project that we're going to be releasing soon. And the floor is pink and white checkerboard. And way back before quarantine, you may have heard my tale of woe, which is that I custom ordered this vinyl flooring, like Pantone, had to have the Pantone color matched and everything, ordered from England where they, you know, make custom vinyl flooring. And the whole process of like figuring this out took forever. And then it was installed and something went wrong in the installation and there are bubbles all over the floor. Like the glue didn't adhere in certain spots. So you can't actually see the bubbles in the photo, which is great, but they're still on my floor, which is not great. So we found a new material, but just because, you know, I'm not really, since I've been in quarantine, I haven't really wanted, you know, workers to be in my house. So it is what it is for now, but I will be getting a new installation of like bigger pink and white squares, and they have that like funfetti pattern on them, which I think will be really nice because, as you know, I have pets and they tend to slop their food around and shed and stuff. So it'll hide some of that, which will be nice. Okay, so that was a detour. Was there anything else we're going to talk about besides Drag Race? Anything else? Yeah, I think we can move on. We can move on to Drag Race. So I will give the disclaimer that I give every time we talk about Drag Race, that if we're going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5, the last episode, which aired on Friday, this past Friday. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, you know, maybe take your leave of us now. We will miss you. And if you're not into Drag Race at all, I mean, as always, feel free to hang out with us while we discuss this, because it's always fun. But yeah, just so you know, we are going to be talking about what happened and who went home and all of that. Okay. Bye, Michelle. Yeah, so if you're not caught up and you don't want to know, we'll see you in the next live stream. We'll miss you. Goodbye, Cecile. Drag Race time. Michelle's excited. Okay. So what happened? All right. So this was episode 2. And let's see. The challenge was a little it wasn't a rusical. It was like a song called I'm in Love, where each of the girls had to write a verse about their celebrity crush. And so they all, some of them chose something that was a little more serious, or like could be your actual celebrity crush. And then other people went, you know, comedic, like Mr. Rogers, though crush-worthy, or Hannibal Lecter, for instance, Blair chose. Oh, so before that, there was a little bit of drama with Ms. Cracker. Ms. Cracker turning into the villain of the season. So what was her problem at the beginning? Guys, remind me, you know, I have no short-term memory. Who'd she have a problem with? I don't know, but it was very bitchy. Guys, remind me, what was the drama? Oh, she thought Angina should be in the bottom. She was harsh on Angina. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, wow. Miss Cracker, shut up. She was picking on Angina. She said Angina should have been in the bottom in episode 1. Okay, thank you. So whatever it was totally unnecessary. And I never understand when the girls are like, let it be known that this is how I feel about the judging last episode. It never goes well. Angina was really hurt. And I think, you know, I don't know, like we have to talk about what happened with Angina for the rest of the episode. There was a little bit of Ms. Cracker and Blair, you know, saying to Angina that she's not an all-star because she didn't have confidence. I mean, come on. All-stars doubt themselves all the time, and we all love the narrative of the inner saboteur, or Rue does anyway. We love that narrative of overcoming the inner saboteur to triumph and regain your confidence. So I don't know. She wanted to write in Angina in whiteout. Yes. So I don't know why they were picking on Angina so much for having low confidence. Come on, give her a break. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. So there was that. I thought it was very unnecessary. And Blair was doing it a little bit too, like, but an all-star has confidence. An all-star believes in herself. Oh, please. Like, you've never had a moment of doubt, Blair St. Clair? Drama cells. So, and then Angina, in the end, basically volunteered herself to leave and ended up choosing herself. And this storyline really killed me, because if you follow Drag Race, you know, and follow people like Angina on Instagram, even just a little bit, then you probably know that Angina has been trying to get onto All Stars since season 1. So it was just really sad to me that, and I mean, think of all the prep she must have done. Her costumes are insane. So, you know, having looks for an entire season of All Stars, and then to sort of just give it up when she felt like she was not performing well was just like really sad to me. And but I mean, hey, don't kick her when she's down. She doesn't like, yeah, you can tell she's just very sweet. So yeah, not loving Ms. Cracker. Drag bullying mental is real. Yeah, I guess they were kind of trying to get into each other's heads and all of that. So yeah, I was not loving that. I've never been a huge Ms. Cracker fan, so it's really interesting to see that, and it'll be interesting to see how that develops for the rest of the season. Okay, and then we had, okay, so they were broken up into 3 groups. Poor Angina was picked last. And let's see, they had to write a verse, and then they had to do choreo led by someone in their group, right? And so I don't know, I was really excited during the dance rehearsals, because I was like, this song is going to be killer. I was like, when they were like shaking it and like kind of singing the verse, I was like, I cannot wait to hear this song. And then the actual performance, I was like, this song is just kind of like plodding along and has no energy, and it wasn't great, right? Are we agreed? But yes. Okay, Colin's giving us the behind the scenes cracker tea. She's worked with her in person, and how she's painted on the show is not how she is in person. Okay, thank you, Colin. That is good to remember, that this is reality TV with a certain amount of editing, and it's very easy to jump on the bandwagon of disliking a certain queen based on edits, but that is not necessarily a reflection of who they are in real life. So Shea Coulee, this was the episode of Shea Coulee, and let it be known that I have said from the beginning that this is going to be her season, and I think she's going to win. And she has had so much confidence and grace, and just the way she was like leading their dance rehearsal, and her presence throughout. I thought, oh my God, and her runway. I mean, it was her episode, you know, start to finish. I'm so happy to see it. Okay, so let's see. I wasn't loving the song. How did you guys like the song? The song was repetitive and boring. My husband was so annoyed by the song, evil little earworm. Shay's runway was so good, but I could not stop looking at the nips. It was like an airbrushed nude illusion bodysuit, and one breast was a little lower than the other maybe, but man, doesn't matter. She looks so good. Miles above the rest. Wow. Yeah, so good. Oh, the runway was the skin, love the skin you're in. So everyone did a nude illusion or nude skin tone look except for Blair St. Clair, who painted her entire body and face bright pink and then wore a pink latex look. And no one understood it, but it looked really good. You want crystal nips? Yeah, pasties, man. Song was very meh. So, okay. Lip sync. So Shay won the challenge, unsurprisingly. And the lip sync assassin comes in, and it is no other than the Miss Alyssa Edwards, always and forever. I know we were all so excited to see her, right? Because I've said from the beginning, we've all said we're very excited to see Alyssa Edwards as a lip sync assassin. I think one of my all-time favorite lip syncs from Drag Race is Alyssa versus Tatiana in All Stars 2, Shut Up and Drive. So I could not sit still on my sofa when I saw her. I was so excited to see the lip sync. And then she didn't do Alyssa. I mean, she still looked amazing. It was a good standard lip sync, right? It was a fine lip sync, but it wasn't like, I was expecting like all out, no holds barred, 100% like Evie Oddly territory, stunts, twirls, full Alyssa Edwards. And I expected Alyssa to win. It was like 60% Alyssa. Yeah, it was Alyssa, and we were all happy to see her. And we got a lot of backstage Alyssa, which was great. Because we got to see her personality, which I know we all love. The dancing queen herself. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw some conspiracy theories on Reddit that maybe, you know, this new lip sync assassin twist is just a way for the producers to further gain control and manipulate the storyline, which would be interesting, especially thinking back to Ben de la Creme in All Stars 4, you know, sort of wrote her own storyline and voted herself off. So possible that this whole thing is a way for them to regain control, and that they, you know, paid Alyssa to not give her all, because it's hard to believe. It's just hard to believe that that would be her performance. Unless, I don't know. We all have off days, but it was surprising. Is anyone else surprised? Shay's reaction to Alyssa was amazing. Yeah. Shay was scared, as she said. She was very, very scared to lip sync against Alyssa. So I thought it was really fun. It's fun to see. I mean, Shay could have beat anyone, I think, that's currently in the cast of All Stars 5 easily in a lip sync and would not have been intimidated. So it's really fun that they're bringing in these sort of legendary lip sync assassins who can actually give the top queens a run for their money. So yeah, I mean, I'm still loving this whole lip sync assassin thing. It's so fun. It is so fun, and it's so exciting. I gotta tell you guys that these episodes are like making my week. I can't. And as soon as one ends, I'm like, I want another. So, I mean, I haven't felt that way about All Stars in a while. So, I mean, bravo to the whole franchise for sort of reinvigorating All Stars with this new twist. Yeah, it excites me so much, Michelle. I'm so into it. O'Shea does a performance with rose petals. That would be amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It was a great episode. It was a great episode. I hope that the challenges get better, but honestly, the challenges are never really the best part. They're probably due for like an acting challenge now, which I feel like are always like the least polished challenges. Yeah, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm living for it. Thoughts about the next assassin. I'm waiting for Tatiana now that we've had Alyssa. I'm waiting for Brooklyn Heights. And I am waiting for Sasha. Who else do you guys think of as like the lip sync assassins from all the seasons of Drag Race? Those are like the ones that come to mind for me. Sasha Velour. I'm trying to think of people like lip syncs that have gotten like double Shantays that were so iconic that neither could go home. They've done double Shantays that were like, but really was that necessary? But then they've had some like Evie versus Brooke that were like, okay, neither of those two can go home. Alyssa versus Tatiana. Yeah, so I mean, those are the ones that come to mind for me. Oh, Cameron Michaels. Cameron Michaels. Definitely a lip sync assassin in the true sense of the term, because she was almost eliminated how many times? She lip synced like 4 times in season 10 and beat her opponent every single time, like by a landslide. So she would be a great lip sync assassin. Vanjie, yeah, I was just thinking about that, but I don't think of her as like an amazing lip syncer, do we? And then, oh, someone else just crossed my mind too. Oh, what about Aquaria, guys? One of my favorite lip syncs of all time was Aquaria, Bang Bang, the season 10 finale. Estranja, yeah, Laganja Estranja, she would be great. Shangela, yeah, okay, all right. Shangela would be a great choice. I was getting a little sick of her lip syncs with all of the bells and whistles and gimmicks on All Stars 3, but I mean, it would be exciting. Coco Montrese, ooh, I like that. I'd love to see Coco again. Detox, that's a good one. Trixie Mattel is one of the worst lip syncers ever. Right? Isn't she like, that would be funny because she is like the opposite of a lip sync assassin and she like admits it, right? She's lost every lip sync she's ever done except for All Stars 3, which won her the crown. It's not just you. Yeah. I mean, Trixie is fine. She admits that she is not a skilled lip syncer. They both have the most lip sync losses. Though Katya has a great lip sync in season 7. That split she did. They both have the most lip sync losses. That's great. All right, so I feel like that's it. I feel like we discussed the episode. It's a great season. Loving it, living for it. Sad about Angina, who went home. But she had a sweet moment with Miss Alyssa Edwards backstage. We need to see Alyssa Edwards's Drag Race. Like, that's the show I want to see too, because she's such a great mentor, and she should be a judge, or like the times that she's come back to be the choreographer or work with the queens, she's always been so great, spot on in her criticism and advice. And so I would love to see her in a more formal role on Drag Race. That's true, Missy. Yeah, she's a dance teacher, right? She runs a dance school and works with kids. So, yeah, I haven't seen her Dancing Queen show. Maybe that's my next show. I'm watching Great British Baking Show now, and I just started the season last night where Mary Berry leaves. I didn't know that was going to happen, guys. I had no idea. And Mel and Sue, do we have other fans here? I didn't know that was going to happen, and I'm very upset. I'm very upset. I need it in my life. Okay, I'll watch it. But I'm super upset about what's going on with the Great British Baking Show. And granted, this all happened many, many moons ago. They were bought out and only Paul went. I'm not happy, guys. I'm not happy. I miss Mary Berry. I even miss Mel and Sue. I never thought that would happen. I'm not happy. I don't know. Prue is like, she seems fine. I like her fashion sense, but it's like you had a grandma and they just like brought in a replacement grandma one day and like, here's your new grandma. And I'm like, no, I want Mary Berry back. No, it was really fun. Okay. All right. All right. I'll give it a chance. I mean, I have to watch like 8 more seasons so I can make another sweater. All right, my dears. You're not my real grandma. Where's grandma? I love Mary Berry. She's so sweet. It's not Berry Berry. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you, as always, for coming to my live streams. I hope this was helpful. We covered a lot of topics today, and I will likely be back tomorrow. But as you know, if you're not sure, I always update in my stories about an hour before I would normally go on. So if you're wondering if I'm going to have a live stream, go to Instagram and look at my stories around 4 o'clock, 4:15 Eastern time. All right. So, yeah, I'll see you next time. This has been so great. Have a great rest of your day or night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.